And this is able differently. Special Olympics Kenya conducted assessments across the country targeting out-of-school children. Take a look.
Special Olympics Kenya organized an assessment targeting children who are out of school.
This is a project we are implementing together with UNICEF and other implementing partners, and we are targeting children who are out of school with and without disabilities, children who have never been enrolled in schools, or those that have dropped out of school for various reasons for over a year. And we are mobilizing those children, identifying them, and taking them back to school. So Special Olympics being a sports federation for persons with intellectual disabilities, our interest in this project is children with disabilities. So we are exclusively identifying children with disabilities, assessing them, and placing them in schools.
The last report of audiology was in 2019. They wanted to get the latest now how the hearing levels are. That's why we are here. Yeah, and we are really appreciative because of the assistance we have been getting here. They have been very, very helpful to us.
He's in a school for the hearing impaired in Murang'a, but he has been out of school for the last 1 year because he has been having challenges with hearing as he uses a hearing aid, and he has also a problem with vision. Both of them are interfering with his learning, and therefore we decided to do a diagnostic test for him, that is carry out the audiometric test to determine whether he has residual hearing and if so, which hearing aid he can benefit from, because Special Olympics are also out to support these children not only in school but also to give them assistive devices like the hearing aids and spectacles and wheelchairs.
This was after a research was conducted.
It's a baseline survey that was conducted, and out of that baseline survey, funded by UNICEF and other partners, it was found out that we have more than 1 million children who are out of school. So those are huge numbers of children being out of school, and therefore that is what informed this project, that as partners we need to come together, and as stakeholders in education we need to come together and address that need, because those are so many children out of school. Yeah, so through UNICEF and another donor called Educate a Child, and the Ministry of Education and the other CSO implementing partners, we have all come together to identify these children.
The assessment sought to place the children in learning institutions.
Special Olympics has the biggest number that we are identifying of children with disabilities. And once those children are identified, either by Special Olympics or the other partners, Special Olympics is the one that is facilitating the assessment of these children. So we have identified, or rather we have partnered with KISE, and that is why we are here today, Kenya Institute of Special Education, and they are helping us assess the children in Nairobi together with the EACS, that's the Education and Assessment Research Center officers, and in the other counties, the other 15 counties, we are working with the EACS. We are also working with the National Council for Persons with Disabilities. It's a multidisciplinary assessment, and you're right, once we assess those children, we are placing them in school.
Majorly, what we do is we look at the children, we do the testing, we can do amplification, and we feed the hearing aids.
However, they are aware that some children cannot be placed in formal education institutions, and they have plans to also accommodate them.
We are cognizant that not every child with disabilities will be placed in school, and especially those with severe and multiple disabilities. So we are also looking at supporting these children from homes through the home-based programs, and that's why our assessment is multidisciplinary. So some of those children are going through the medical assessment. Then from there we have referrals for support, either in terms of assistive devices or therapies, but we are also trying to see if we could enroll as many places, many children as possible.
Another challenge is getting appropriate schools.
Infrastructure or appropriate schools is also a challenge, and especially in the ASAL counties, we have very few schools that maybe are disability friendly. And the other challenge is even the distance between the homes and the schools. So that's a big challenge. Even here in Nairobi, like for instance, as we speak, there's also another assessment drive going on in Embakasi for the last 2 weeks. And we are also having a challenge that we have very few special schools, although we are also encouraging as many children as possible to be under the inclusive setting, to be integrated in the mainstream schools. However, because we are aware that most of our schools are not disability friendly, one of the components of this project is that Special Olympics has been given the mandate, together with the key stakeholders in education, to identify one school in each county that we are going to adapt as a model inclusive school that other counties or other sub-counties can adopt. So we are hoping that with that, maybe that will help other schools like this one, that the model centers that we are going to come up with, to be replicated across our country, and it will go a long way in improving the infrastructure and just ensuring that our schools are accessible for children with disabilities.
The project is being implemented in various counties.
We have started with 16 counties. We are implementing this project in 16 counties, and all these counties are the ASAL counties, with the exception of Nairobi. In Nairobi, we are targeting the informal settlements.
We can request the government to help the parents with the shared children, so that they may be able even to ship in medication area and also the school fees area, and we will be very appreciative.
Let's take a look at the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities.
Article 25 of the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities states that state parties shall, Part B, provide those health services needed by persons with disabilities, specifically because of their disabilities, including early identification and intervention as appropriate, and services designed to minimize and prevent further disabilities, including among children and older persons. And
this is the tip for the day.
As we're interacting with parents during the identification of their children and the assessment, they are narrating to us the numerous challenges that they face bringing up and raising children with disabilities. So it's just to encourage the parents that they are not alone in this journey, and that's why we are here to support them and not to hide the children, and that's why we are actually going door-to-door mobilization to ensure that every child gets a chance, every child can access education, every child can access support. So just to encourage the parents not to bring out the children, and we can only support them when we are aware that they have these children. To government is also to ensure that they support these parents, because sometimes they feel like they are on their own, but I am happy that we have made some strides, and government is also committed to ensure that the children are supported. But I believe that there's still a lot to be done, and we have a long way to go, but with all the concerted effort, I feel we are moving in the right direction.
And this is where we come to the end of the show for today. But be sure to join us every other Saturday. I've been your host, Chen Theory. Goodbye.
born, make a difference, change lives. As we tell our different stories, we are capable, beautiful, we are born to do great things. We're unstoppable, incredible, 'cause we're differently abled, differently.